was I one lie too good for you, one high too low for you? Couldn't be perfect for you. Was I one night too slow for you, one time said no to you? Couldn't be perfect for you, no matter how much I wanted to. It wasn't worth it to do, no matter how much I tried for you. Those days turned into lifetimes, wrapped up too much to untangle our lives. Always stayed in for you, mask on, asking me to perform too. Every sigh, every change in your eyes, locked in my mind, cut through so deep I don't even wanna try. Every time you told me they lied, I knew where I'd hide, and you know I shine under the moon. Under the moon. Couldn't be perfect for you, no matter how much I wanted to. It wasn't worth it to do. Under the moon.
All right, let's get this transition on over. We'll turn down these tunes. Welcome in, everybody. How you doing? It's Wednesday, and finally a day that many of you have been waiting for, loaded in with SMS, which means loaded in with event store currency. Now, are those events perfect? Probably not. But it's more than we've been getting, so dang it, I'm going to take it. And welcome in, everybody. Hope you all are having an amazing day. Good to see everybody. Hopefully you are happy. It starts to feel good. As happy as you can be. Right? Really, relatively speaking. So welcome in, Nadia. Great to see you. I also hope the same thing, my friend. I hope the same thing. We are streaming on Facebook, Kick, and YouTube. So we're all over the place to make sure that as many Star Trek nerds as possible can hit us up. That's the goal. Queen Rachel, good to see you. Mercy, good to see you. Gary, good to see you. Bryant, Bears fan with a very positive message for the overlords. Hey, everybody. Life goes well, but my level 30-something game losing progress. Tracker was stolen along with cell phones. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds terrible. Gary, I hope that you filed a police report and that they can help you with that. And that sounds really sucky. Really sorry you're having to experience that. Kenny, good to see you. Always good to see our friends coming in. So yeah, we've got a lot of SMSs here and another Unity event. I personally like Unity events because of their ease, but I only like Unity events on days that are busy. So today is a pretty busy day, I think, relatively speaking, and I like Unity events on days like today, where we actually have a lot of other events going on. Other times, like when Unity is kind of like the only thing, I hate Unity. But today is a day I like Unity. So we're giving Unity a little bit of a shout out here, and thank you for that follow over there on Kick. Welcome in to the family. Good to see you. Even though Sarkasa, I know you from other places, but still good to see you. You're not getting old. It's just we're all over the place. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. Y'all give me y'all's thoughts. I want to know what your thoughts. Roy says, I'm hating this month so far. The FT SMS events where you can't participate unless you buy new FTs, as you can't get anything free to play. So Roy, I'm actually really curious why you feel like you can't get anything free to play. I have 4 free to play FTs with a 5th that I could have that I don't. And honestly, it's not tough to, upgrade like the commons if you want to, but I'm curious where you're at. Maybe you're a lower level player and you've only completed like the first set of trials, and maybe you haven't been able to unlock, the epic that they give out, and which is understandable. So I'm curious where you're at and where you're finding difficulty. On my various accounts, I'm not finding any issues, but my accounts can't speak for the entirety of the game. So if there is a level of difficulty higher for you, I'd like to know where it is, and I will, yeah. Brian says donate to the Alliance and done. I'll be honest, I'm a cheapskate. No offense to the people in IA who might end up listening to this. I'm a hella cheapskate, and I'm not going to donate to my Alliance unless I have to. Now, I will say that the last part of Unity, usually I donate for the last part. So you go from needing to get to 45, and then the 61, I usually sometimes just go real quick, get it in. But 60 helps throughout the day, is not that bad if you're in an active Alliance, but you also can definitely just go use the scroll bar and instantly finish Unity in about 3 seconds. I guess I'm lazy or I'm cheap. Either way, I think the description is accurate. So Jake says you have to stop upgrading the building to save stuff to upgrade the FTs. And this is true, Jake, but at the same time, you choosing to devote that to the building is a choice, right? Like there's an opportunity there as a free-to-play to complete every SMS. That's the goal. And yesterday, I talked to them. I got them to add the hostile grinding to the Fleet Commander SMS, and now hostile is included in today's Fleet Commander SMS. So that's a positive to me, and they have made sure that these are completable. So I guess it just depends on kind of where you're at with that, right? Roy says I'm halfway through the 2-star trials. I'm not at level 25 court for the rare FT of all the commons and uncommons. So I am done with the 2-star trials. This is where I'm at on this account. I'm gonna go ahead and claim this. I have finished my 2-star trials. This is a level 46 account. So I've done these, and here are the FTs that I have unlocked so far. I'll just go ahead and show. I thought, it's the wrong Defiant. So I've got these 5. I've got the Tetrasayanate, which is the one the game gives you when you unlocked them. This is the one they gave that first month. I've got the Ablative Armor unlocked. I don't have the Seismic Charges because, like everybody else, I foobarred that, so I missed out on the Seismic Charges. We'll see what they have. I've got the Subnucleonic Beam, Transphasic Torpedo, so 2 uncommons, and then I've got the Rare and the Epic. These all came from the Q's Trials. I didn't spend any money on these. So I look at like Ablative Armor. I can go and upgrade it should I choose and want to. I can upgrade my Subnucleonic Beam, which is what I did, which is on my Talios. I've got options if I choose to take them. Now, I could very well just say, screw it, I don't want to. And that SMS lasts for 3 days. So there is the opportunity there if you want to go after it, but I understand why people don't want to go after it. I need to put the proper, there we go. See, there's the Defiant that has the cloaking bonus. I don't necessarily know why it's on there, but it is on there. Evening, April Bella, and evening, Falcon. Good to see you. Cayman says, I'm just working on research in Voyager Tier 4. Also, my M score will break 100 by Sunday. Congrats! Hey! My M score is right at 110. I'm so proud of myself for getting better at the game when I was sucking originally, and now I'm just only slightly sucking. So, yay! Woo! Happy about that. So, anyway, I do get it that not everybody likes the field training. Hell, DJ thinks field training is basically the next assaults, right? And I do agree that field training is not a great addition to the game. I thought Q's Trials was a great addition to the game. Field training leaves a lot to be desired, and the big reason being the proto matter. But there is a path for the next 3 days if you want to complete it. But I also understand if people decide, hey, it's just not worth it for me, I'd rather not fool with it. Speaking of, I want to take my building to level 16. And I do want to constantly upgrade it because the higher level you're building, the more proto matter you're getting from every fight that you manage to successfully win. So I can't beat 2-star ones. They're 40 mil. My biggest ship is 20 mil. Zero. Honestly, you might be able to beat that depending on what type of ship it is and what crews you're using. We've talked a lot about crews. I mean, a lot about crews in our Discord and even in our live streams. And depending on what you're facing, you can definitely punch up. But I get that there are definitely some hard hostiles. You reach a point where no matter what level you are, you run into a wall in Q's Trials, right? So why do you have 2 Defiants? Because when the Defiant first came out, I bought one. Literally the day the Defiant came out, I bought one, and then Scopely sent me one. And oh well, You know, it was actually the Tuesday that it came out. We were streaming on Twitch and players wanted to see the Defiant. I was like, you know what? I'll write it off as a business expense. I bought it literally right as it came out so that players could see it immediately. And then Scope was like, hey, we're going to give content creators one. We're all trying to make a video about it. And I'm like, can I exchange this for anything? And they went, no. So that's why I have 2 Defiants. I bought one so that everybody could see it as soon as it launched. We could start doing testing literally the day it came out. And then Scopely sent one. So that's why I have a random second Defiant. Yeah. Anyway, there's story time. Epic Commander credits. When do they become available? I'm stuck in my Fleet Commanders both at level 1720. Epic Commander credits are level 51 plus. Oh, 51 plus. So Grim says I popped swarm clusters on battleships and intercepted Q trials. Still working on the Franklin A, so going to be a minute. Fair. You might be able to use your Franklin depending on which swarm you're running into, Grim. I know you're working on your Franklin A, but you might be able to do the old school Franklin. Is it worth getting a second Defiant? No. I mean, I wouldn't get a second Defiant. So, but that's just me. I don't think having a second Defiant is necessarily bad, but like there's an obvious reason / advantage of, you know, what you would do with a second Vidar. Not really the same thing when we talk about having a second Defiant. Like, what would you really use a second Defiant for? Would be the question. Because, and I'm not trying to be negative here, I like the Defiant. I like the Defiant a lot. But the Defiant is never going to be my strongest ship at any tier that I'm at, right? You know, whether I'm level 42 or I'm level 39, even level 35. The Defiant is never going to be the best ship that I have for Armadas. It's going to be the best in terms of getting me edicts, but it's never going to be my best ship. And since I am limited to the amount of Defiant juice I get anyway, like having 3 Defiants doesn't mean I get to hold 3 times as many juice. I don't really see the advantage. Just have one really good Defiant and run that way. Right? So, why is the event store full of stuff I already have, like cloaking and ship skins? Because you're seeing the same things that everybody else is seeing. A lot of people maybe don't have the cloaking and ship skins. Now, is there an argument to be made that the event store should, you know, really kind of build itself to you better, as in you shouldn't be seeing things that you already have? Oh, yeah, sure. I agree with that. But that's why a lot of the items are in there, and a lot of the items in there were requested at various points by players. But I'm not here to tell you that it's amazing. Y'all can make those decisions for yourself, whether you like it or dislike it. I'm just simply here to fight for new things to get added, which they are considering a couple new things. There are some things they are not considering adding. For example, Voyager is not getting added to the event store. Unless they get a just complete flip-flop from my conversations over the past week, Voyager will not be getting added to the event store. So you won't have to continue with the normal free-to-play path of the Voyager. If you are on it, there will not be a fun little speed up with adding that to the event store. At least this event store. Possibly the next event store, they'll add that in. But no. That's not something they're doing at the moment. It's depressing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Can you show me your Bajoran event store? I mean, my Bajoran store? I mean, sure. What do you want to see about my Bajoran store? I don't think I have any pulls because I made most of my pulls last night. Yeah, I'm still several. So tonight on Twitch, I can do a lot of my pulls, but this is where my Bajoran store is. Hey, Falcon, 29 days of Voyager. That's not that bad. And hey, Drew, good to see you. You're my server 97, Drew, right? You're that Drew? The Drew we make fun of? Or are you the other Drew? Good to see you. Gary, good to see you. Got to get a thick shirt. Fall is coming. I've got a hoodie. I've got several hoodies, Gary, if you're wanting a hoodie. I mean, fall is coming, and it's tough for me to think about that because I live in Louisiana, and it's extremely hot, like at all times. But you're right. Winter's coming around. You're going to want some nice Rev Deuce merch. I appreciate you even thinking about it. Voyager free-to-play is much easier to get than the Defiant. Depends on your level. I mean, if you're level 40 plus, getting the Defiant free-to-play takes 100 days. If you're level 35, it takes more than 100 days. But the flip side of that is, the Defiant is actually in the event store. And if you are listening right now and you're like level 35, level 37, and you're wondering what things should I focus on, I am making a video about this. But since y'all are here for the live stream, why don't I go ahead and tell you, you definitely want to work on getting your specialty ships. If you don't have a Defiant, get it. If you don't have a Meridian, get it. If you don't have, you know, your first Vidar and you're like level 27, you're somebody on server 97, get it. Take advantage of the increased sourcing of special ships because the Amalgam takes 13 weeks through Cosmic Cleanup. You know, the Defiant takes 100 days if you're level 40 plus. These things take a while, so specialty ships are definitely valuable, especially since we have so many in the game right now. Except for the sarcophagus. Ignore the sarcophagus. Just ignore that one. That's waste of your time. It's a waste of your time and money. Would it be better to get a Defiant or a Mantis? Jim, both. And if you are going through the free-to-play progression, you should be able to get both this event store. In terms of their cost, one thing they did, look, we are not here to just blow smoke up Scopely's butt and compliment them, okay? But one thing they did well, if y'all go and pay attention, the specialty ship costs are lower than regular ship costs. So let me show you an example. If I pull up the Enterprise, everybody wants an Enterprise in the game because it's the Enterprise. You're a bunch of Star Trek nerds and that's okay. 10,600, look at it right here. But go look at what the Defiant costs. Defiant comes out a tier later, 1,500 per shard. They're actually encouraging you to get special ships over faction ships. And the cost has been significantly lowered to help players get more of these ships. So I 100% would recommend you getting, if you need the Defiant and the Mantis, get both. Sure, maybe that slows down if you want to throw an extra 20 blueprints into your Enterprise. But the cost here for the specialty ships, which long-term are more important anyway. I get that the Enterprise is the Enterprise and we all want the Enterprise. But short-term, definitely pick up these smaller currency cost Defiants and Mantis, etc. And that also leaves more room to get the officers, which the sourcing for the officers is rough. The sourcing for the officers right now is rough, y'all. Your ops for 47 free-to-play doable? Oh, it's definitely doable. We've got people in the 50s who are free-to-play. We got people in the 50s who are free to play. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's been done. Yeah, it's shocking to me how devoted and like hardcore some people can get in this game. It's impressive. I give tons of credit. I couldn't do it. I don't have the patience to do it, but I really respect those who have. That is awesome. That's a top tier type player to me. Like, you might not be the strongest in the game power wise, but that's pretty awesome. How much loot should we get free to play? Based on what the Arc Runner has told us, we should be around the same of what we've had previous months. Our current guesstimation is anywhere from 450 to 550,000. It feels a little bit light so far, but if we have more days like today, that seems reasonable. Like, you go look at the Forbidden Tech SMS, you see we got that one dropped today. That's got some. You go look into your storyline events. That's got some right here with the speed boost. This is the gain power one. That's got some. We got like, what, 5 or 6 SMSs today that pay out event store currency. So for the first week and a half, it hasn't felt like we're going to hit that mark. If there are a lot of days like today, we will hit that mark, but that's kind of the expectation, you know, right around that 450,000 or more, depending on which which previous event store they base it off of. But my conversations, I've had 2 of them with the Arc Runner about this. Both times they've reiterated they're using the standards that have been set this year. So we'll see. We'll see. This is also one of the reasons that I save my currency to the end. I like to know exactly what I have, but I also understand that some people try to get stuff right now, and that makes sense. So the FT events are near enough to pay to play that Socrates won't be there for. See, Viper, I 100% disagree with that. I don't even like FTs, but people are bringing this conversation that you can't do it free to play. I have free to play accounts that have already finished the FT event. It's not hard. The only thing that people are going to say is some people are choosing to put the currency into the building, and that's fine, but that's a choice. And it's also a 3-day event. You get, if you are held just 30 plus, you have got free FTs that you can devote into upgrading to finish that event. Now, if you choose not to, that's completely fine. But I simply cannot get on board with the argument that the FTs are a paid for SMS. I can't. And I'll fight for y'all all day long. Hell, I fought for y'all yesterday, and that's how we got hostile scoring added into the Fleet Commander SMS. But when there are commons that you can go obtain, when the game gave you 1 common, you unlock another common through the store, you get 2 uncommons through running through the first early field trainings, and then you get a rare, and then you get an epic, you absolutely can do it. But the unlock FT, I guess the unlock FT is going to depend on where you're at in your field training. If you're in Q's trials. If you've beaten those, yeah, you're not going to unlock another one. So I guess that would, if it just happened to coincide with your FT unlock being right here and you being able to pull these, sure. But even if you take that out, you're still talking about there being 5 SMSs today of currency. Can I get the Mantis at Ops 32 in the event shop? Yes, you can. I'm so glad I hit hostiles for January State. It wasn't written as a scoring mechanism, but it counted 10 per kill. Oh, Jason, that's because I got it added. Yeah, if you rebooted your game and everything, it should have gotten added into the description. But the players said, hey, we don't want to just run Q's trials, especially with the Q's trial event launching today, the SLB. So we went and got hostiles added. So thank you to the overlords for listening to that, because they could have just easily have said no because we gave you bells. But they were very kind enough to hear out the argument and say, sure, we'll add in this score. You can go kill 100 hostiles if you don't want to use Q's trials. So I do appreciate them listening to that. And that was nice of them. Rogue says, maybe for higher levels, if you can't progress with your Q trials, you're stuck on the FT upgrades. But you're not, Rogue, because you can go and run the older ones, right? You can go, if you can't beat where you're stuck at right now, go just run this one right here. And I struggle to find people who can't rerun the 1-star trial at the top. Run these. This is going to feed you your proto matter. And remember, you get more proto matter than what's displayed based on the level of your building. Now, if you are one of those players, especially if you're on a newer server who can't even beat the 1-star trials yet, yes, I will agree. If you're one of the newer players on a new server, that's going to really struggle. But that applies to a very small percentage of players, right? For most, you should be able to continually get proto matter every single day. And then as you work up to get stronger and beat the next level of whatever Q trial you're working on now, just simply run the old ones. And that way you can still be getting proto matter every day. Don't just launch them, but go kill the old ones. Because you see, I get a 108% bonus now. So I'm going to take that 108% bonus. Even if I'm only getting 80 proto matter, put that 108% bonus on it. Now I'm getting well over 100 just for doing those. Sure, maybe I'm stuck at a tier 3 or tier 2, but it ensures that I'm getting currency every day. So, how do you rerun when you haven't finished the whole line? Again, Kevin, if you've not finished the entire line of the first set of Q's trials, I recognize that there are newer players in the game who haven't done that. But at the same time, 95% of the game can do that. So, it's just one of those that is specifically sucky for newer servers. And I do acknowledge that. That is definitely specifically sucky for newer servers. Which say is the lowest level to beat the first 3 columns of the Q's trials? Low 30s. People with Burrells and Intrepids and Gladiuses. Depending on the amount of research and building upgrades and officers used, you could do them with Saladins and Centurions. Sean, Voyager BPs will not be getting added to the event store from what I've been told. They'll not be adding that. So, and again, it also depends on the hostile, because I still see players to this day who will run into like the Actian hostiles that spawn or the Swarm hostiles, and they're still trying to use their Enterprise versus those when you should be using the Franklin or should be using your Mantis, right? So, any chance I'll add Discovery Commerce to the refinery? No. Dave, at least I don't believe they will. The Voyager refinery is focusing in on the special ships in the 30s to speed up their upgrades. The Disco is something that you get at level 20. So. Yeah, no problem, Gib. See, this is what I hope to tell people, because now everybody realizes that you can farm proto matter. Because what you get is like you get stuck. And look, I have an account this way. Now, this account is not stuck. I'm actually waiting on my level. But my high level account is stuck. Right? And anybody that's a high level can tell you that the degree of difficulty jumps very quickly. And I got stuck. So I have to run the old ones to farm my proto matter, because I can't finish the 3 and 4-star trials where my account in the 50s is at. Because when you talk about these things getting bigger, like y'all know about the 8-round super gun and the bio ships, 4-star trials will randomly spawn the 8 gun in one of the hostiles. So you'll be like, oh, I'm sitting here flying pretty through the 4-star trials, and then smack, you can't progress. You're stuck. So yeah, everybody's going to face that unless you're like one of those level 60s who's got a 1.5 billion Rotaran, and then it doesn't matter. You can kill everything. So we all are going to run to the wall at some point. but you can still farm your previous runs for proto matter to make sure that you're able to work on that building or work on FT upgrades. The only, I think I will agree with what Viper was saying earlier, since I misinterpreted what they were saying, that getting the unlocks is difficult without spending. So yeah, the bye-bye gun, J Cash. Exactly. It's a big bye-bye gun. Go away. Exactly what it is. Definitely. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you so much. Can we get the Fleet Commander anniversary frame added to the event store? I've wanted it forever. I mean, I can make a request. There are definitely some older frames and avatars that they added to this store for those who enjoy those things. And it's always fun to me because you'll run into the, people like yourself who want those. And I actually run into them quite a bit. And then you'll run into the other people like, who the heck cares about frames and avatars? I'm like, more people than you think. That's one of the only things when Ripper was still playing the games. One of the only things he enjoyed is collecting all the frames and avatars. So Brian says completed all Q's trials and got all 5 free ones last month, which means I cannot get any points in the obtain. Yeah, we just talked about that. So I recognize the difficulty of that one for sure. I do. Do people with 1.5 billion returns even do the events? They do, Jerry. Would you like to see a screenshot of me talking to one yesterday who was working on his Q's trials? I literally can. Yeah, they do. They enjoy it. Believe it or not, they enjoy the events. I mean, I wonder if I should crop out his name. I don't think he would honestly care. Him would just save it. It's Baller. Baller's one of our regulars, and shout out to Baller. Now, his return is only 1.2 billion, but in terms of like who I was recently talking to about this is the most recent one I have. Here, I'll show it to you. They do the events. Believe it or not, whales enjoy events too, which is why they're always complaining when they don't have any events or any good events. So here's Baller. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I got to adjust this picture. It's way too large. Yeah, so here you go. Here's him taking on the Immortal Horde. This is a 4-star Q's Trial hostile. And you see 10.5 billion strength. And this has the big super gun. So he's got to beat it before round 8. And one of the crews that we use a lot when we talk to the higher levels about taking on some of these big Q's Trials is Janeway, Hull Breach, and Critical. And he technically didn't need Con. He could have actually just thrown in Sharvanik here or something like that and used Hugh below decks. But either way, there's the win. So yeah, they enjoy doing this type of content. It's I guess it just depends on what type of player or what player you talk to. So, second ISS out the dock. Oh my God! Stop building ISS jellies. They're so stucky. They're terrible. Oh my gosh. Should I scrap my old jelly and use a new one? I mean, yeah. Get your stuff back for that old ISS jelly. Oh my gosh. There's only, speaking of whales, there's one scenario where building ISS jellies and taking them past tier 2 matters. One. And that is if you have spent $1,200 on the 2 big primes that came out like 2 months ago. Then it's worth building and maxing out ISS jellies. Everybody else, if you are free to play or a light spender, don't take your ISS jelly past maximum tier 3. Don't do it to yourself. You're going to be wasting resources. You're going to be wasting resources. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Brian, exactly. If you spent $1,200 on those efficiencies, you can farm ISS jellies for 4-star parts and stuff. But you would have to spend a lot of money. So. Harvey says I have 122 ISS jellyfishes. Yeah, Harvey, here's how I know you're lying. Here's how I know you're lying. Because one of the biggest problems we have right now in the game is we don't have room in our freaking hangars, man. I know you're lying because I can only fit 69 ships. We need more room in our hangars. They keep giving us specialty ships, but they won't give us the actual areas to store these ships. I'm hitting my wall, man. I got to scrap ships just to make room to build brand new ships the game comes out with. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Is Janeway Hostile Crew better at PMC at Ops 31? No. PMC is going to be king at Ops 31, depending on the hostile. There are some hostiles where Janeway is going to be better. Depends on the hostile, right? Depends on the hostile. Past few days, I've been trying to tell my alliance mates that no, they probably shouldn't spend their chaos credits on Mayflowers or normal jellies. I agree. They 100% should not be doing that. In fact, Sarkasa, if you want to take a clip of what I'm saying right now, you can make clips on YouTube. I think, yeah, you can also make clips on Kick. If you do not have the Vidar, you should not be spending event store currency on Mayflowers or baby jellies. The baby jelly only really has any use if you're using like the bold defense, which is a base defense tactic that will use in incursions, and the Mayflower is literally only good for scrapping at level 34. Do not waste your event store currency on it. Get the special ships that you don't have. Don't have the Discovery, don't have the Vidar, don't have the Meridian, which can only be gotten through event store anyway. Get those. You are hurting yourself if you're spending it on faction ships. You are hurting yourself. There you go. There's your clip. Take it to your alliance. If you're on a new server and they need to hear that, there you go. Take it to them. If they need to hear that, there you go. Take it to them. Alliance members whose jellies are tier 6 and send them armadas. Okay, so real quick, I will say that I'm part of that problem too. Look, I have a tier 5 jelly. Now, there was a time in this game, be very clear. There was a time in the game where taking the jelly up mattered. Like, that was a thing you did. In fact, if you go back and watch my level 39 camping video from forever ago, it seems, I talked about taking an ISS jelly to tier 5. But that's old news. That's old tech. That's old logic. We don't do that anymore. But yeah, there was a time where the ISS jelly was more relevant than it is today. There definitely was a time. Ice Shield says, obviously Scopely will address this with a ship hanger prime. Dang it. Don't speak that evil over me, Ricky Bobby. Perry, good to see you over there on Facebook. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Don't speak that evil over me, Ricky Bobby. All right, let me swap this back because I never use my... I do love the skin, though. I will give my... I do love my ISS Jelly's Constellation skin. I will say that. For those that don't know what this skin came out during the original series arc. What, about 2 years ago? And love it. This came out when we were doing the Doom modders, the Worm modders and everything. And I don't think it's really come around since. At least I can't think of it off the top of my head. Queen Ray says, I've been urging my alliance members to grab Stellas, Meridians, and Vidar, so many of them don't have those ships. Queen, you take that clip. If somebody made it, we'll pass it around my Discord and stuff, I'm sure. If new servers need to hear it, take that clip. If they don't know who I am, well then, damn it, teach them. But I'm telling you, don't let them make that mistake, because if they... Look at the cost of the Mayflower, y'all. Look at the cost of the Mayflower. This is why I tried to show it earlier to everybody. If you are an alliance leader, you need to make sure that your people are listening. Look at the cost of the Mayflower. The scroll is right. Where is it at? Right here. 5,500. Let's do a quick calculator, because I'm not going to multiply 80 by 5,500. I mean, I guess I could. It's actually not that hard. But 440,000. That's basically the entirety of what a free-to-play player is going to earn this month. 440,000. Now compare that to a Vidar, or compare that to the Defiant, or compare that to anything really. But the Vidar is 3,800. Hell, it's almost half price, right? Take a look at the Meridian. Where's the Meridian at? Meridian should be, it's a pretty minor. Also, where's the Meridian skin? I haven't seen that in a while, but okay. The Meridian, I didn't realize the Meridian was so damn expensive. Okay, Meridian, that's the first time I looked at the Meridian. Meridian is expensive, but it's still, this is the only way to really get the Meridian. So you kind of have to suck it up and do that. I didn't realize the Meridian was that expensive. That's 750,000 to get a full. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. That's 5 BPs per. That's 5 BP. That's not that bad then. That means you only need 20. So that's 150,000. My bad. I missed the whole times 5 up there. 150,000. Yeah, 150,000. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Got to do this. Teach your people. Because let me tell you, if you're in the 30s right now, one of the most important research trees in the game is territory. And it really, like, you technically get to start mining this in the 20s at level 25. But I'm in my 40s and I still love this tree. It is so good. So good. So yeah, I would much rather have a Vidar and a Meridian for the same cost as having a Mayflower, and it'll make my gameplay so much better. Jason says, I accidentally bought a Cloaked Racketeer token to unlock the research, but I guess I already unlocked it. Did I waste 60,000 chaotic tokens? You did, Jason. You can try to contact customer support and see if you find like a really lenient and loving CS agent, and maybe they will refund you. But short answer is yes. Is the second Meridian worth it? Only need 50 BP. So 0, I would say that yes and no. The answer is no if you OPC hunt. If you are like Rev and you go OPC hunting, you probably don't need a second Meridian. If you are not like Rev, yes. because you need so much to do the pulls. I just did my pull, so I can't show you. I got hours. But like this one, the 3-star Isogen, assuming your alliance has the territories and everything and has everything ready, it's like 1.2 million per triple pull. And you want to pull the biggest pulls you can of Isogen at all times. 2 stars like 600 something thousand. So yeah, you do benefit from having multiple meridians. Now, if you are an OPC hunter like Rev, you may not need multiple meridians. But more is more, right? I say this all the time. More is more. 2 meridians can be very beneficial to you to make sure that you're getting the most pulls that you can, right? Chris says that they run 4 meridians, and I also used to use them for mile deep space mining. Well, Chris, I hate you on the deep space mining part. Stop taking my damn nodes! But it makes sense because it does have great warp range, right? It does have great warp range. Not like Rev territory off limits for my alliance. 0. If you have an alliance that says you can't OPC on territory, leave that alliance. They're hurting you. They're bad for you. It's like a toxic girlfriend. Get away from them. I don't care how good you think life is with them. It is better somewhere else. Don't do it to yourself, 0. You're better. You deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. Get away from that toxic girlfriend. Hola, Draco. Good to see you. How you doing, buddy? What level of Bajoran solos do you hit? Depends. Are you talking about rares, epics, uncommons, but generally speaking, 53s? 53s? You still mine with Fiches? Awesome. Yeah, I had actually started ignoring my Fiche for a long time until the Voyager commerce came around. And I've actually been using that to get my Fiche bigger and stronger. And that's actually incentivized me to actually start using my Fiche more. Any treasury this month? Yes, there will be a treasury this month, my friend. There will be. What's the highest tier on the Voyager before it changes your Voyager Refinery to 5-star? So you're asking when it changes to 5-star? It changes to 5-star at tier 9? Here, let me pull up the Voyager Refinery and I'll actually tell you right now. For those that don't remember, in my Discord, if you actually go to the Voyager, we actually have a tab for this. Here we go. Bloop. So we go to Refinery. Make sure this is showing up on the screen. Here, let's move this so it's showing up completely on the screen. There we go. Boop. All right, so over here. Oh, 5-star is tier 8. I was 1 tier off. Tier 8. Tier 8 is where the 5-star begins to appearing for the ship parts and everything. Tier 8. There you go. Bloop. There you go. And that way, that spreadsheet is in my Discord. So if you're not in my Discord, join it. I'm pretty sure we shared it on the Facebook page as well. But yeah. There you go. See what I got to claim. I think this is the resource. Yeah, the monthly pack. There we go. There we go. Can you please ask Scopely add nanoprobes to the event store? Not sure if responding to this question. Scott, I can ask. We've put in a slew of things that players would like to see, and we're currently waiting to hear back. I mean, we've requested like the Fuchsia skin, the Section 31 skin for the Disco. We've requested the Voyager, got told no on that one. I requested Hue, got told no on that one. But there's also been other things like rare ACC cores. I mean, there's a lot of things that are being considered right now. Now we're just waiting on what are they going to add based on what we've asked for. So, you're tier 7. You love the Voyager Refinery. I love the Voyager Refinery as well. It's the only way I'm able to keep up with ship parts right now. The Voyager Refinery and the Bajoran faction store have really made the bottleneck of 4-star ship parts not feel as bad. As bad. I'm not saying it's great, but it has significantly improved the sourcing of those items. I mean, significantly. I'm not being dramatic when I use that word. It really has significantly improved the sourcing of 4-star ship parts and, in terms of the Bajoran faction store, 4-star materials. To the point where I will argue that I get more. I'd have to go and actually math it out, but I'm pretty sure that I get more from my Bajoran faction store in terms of actual uncommons than I do from doing events. Especially in months like this month where every event's mostly focused around event store currency. So, could really use the feature glass skins. Any idea why it's rarely available? Sure, I actually can tell you exactly why it's rarely available, Frobo. Money. Money, 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 money. They like to sell things before they become available to the masses. So, Tending and transporter patterns was a nice addition. I agree. The 6 officers they added, I like most of them. They added 6 officers to the transporter patterns, and I think that was a great thing, and most of them were very valuable officers. Speaking of, make sure you go pull your mission key. Make sure y'all pull y'all's mission key. I clearly keep forgetting, because I think that was like my 5th time to do it this run. You want to have in the store. So usually the Fisha glass skin, if I'm remembering correctly, will appear on Mondays during mining Mondays, but it's not in the store constantly. But I think it appears on Mondays. I think there's a timer on it, but I would have to double check with the devs to verify that. Watching you delayed versus chat. That's weird, Nick. Is Sculpey doing anything to address the massive amount of people who are quitting? Because there's not massive amounts of people quitting, Jonathan. So sure, they're working on problems, but there's not massive amount of people quitting. I actually just pulled it up the other day, like the total accounts that are playing the game. Like, we knew that there was 250-ish thousand actives back in January. There are currently, and they just cleaned out a lot of, like, they just archived a bunch of old accounts. There are still, as of like last week, over 600,000 active accounts in the game, and there's still couple 100,000 that are playing daily. So people aren't leaving in mass. There are frustrated people, 100%. I'm not saying there's not. And your individual server might be witnessing, more people than you're used to leaving. But there's not a mass exodus. There's always people quitting a game, and there's always people joining a game. So, any tips for grinding for an enterprise? Faction store, away team store. Those are the 2 ways to get your blueprints. There is one mission that pays out, I think, 5 enterprise blueprints. There's a Federation mission that pays out 5 blueprints. I don't recall what it is. We'd have to look it up on stfc.space. So, it's one of those, like, I can give you numbers here. Let me pull this up real quick. So, like, for example, I pulled this out last week. There are currently 11,000 level 38 players in the game, roughly. There are another 15,000 level 39s, right? At my level, there are almost 7,000 level 46s. But let's talk about low levels, because I know Drew was here, and I have a lot of people from server 97, one of my newer servers. There are currently 9,000 level 29s in the game. There are 9,600 level 28s, over 6,000 level 27s. So yeah, there are some older players who get frustrated and quit, but I don't think people understand how many new players are joining this game either. This game, I complain about a lot about this game, and I think there are reasons to complain about Scopely at times, but they are really good about new user acquisition. So how many level 60s? 440-ish, Draco. I can tell you where you rank on those if you want. Only max exodus I ever saw was one of the servers I played, because the row they created was absolutely horrible. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those things happen, Herbie. And again, I'm not trying to say that Scopely's doing things right and perfect, because they aren't. And I'm definitely not saying that leaving isn't happening. I'm just simply saying that it's not a mass exodus, as will get talked about. It's definitely not a mass exodus. So, anyway, how long does it take to get the ISS jelly with armadas? That really depends on your RNG. I mean, you can full pull an ISS jelly, level 39. It depends on the RSSG. Where do you rank? Let me go pull up the list there, Draco. Draco, can you make it easier for me real quick and tell me what your rough power is? Like, just your rough overall power. And Draco, what server are you on? I don't remember. What server are you on? Oh, never mind. You're right there on the front page. You're ranked 20 in the game. And overall power, Draco, you're ranked 20 in the game. I see you. You're an Apex, server 38. You're ranked 20 in overall power. Wish we could get new blood on our server. Hard to recruit everyone who's been here a while. I get that. And I will say that when we talk about problems with Star Trek Fleet Command, I do think that they've got it butt backwards a little bit, because they need to reopen older servers more to allow new players to feed into them. And I understand why they don't, but I think that there are definitely older servers that need new life instead of just mergers. I think that would really help them out. Brian, it's not a list that I can share, but I'm more than happy to just kind of like randomly pull out. If there's a 60 here who wants to know where they're at power-wise, I can throw it to them. But it's not a list that I can share. What would be a good crew for the Q Trial Challenger SLB for damage going against a ship you can't beat? Depends on what ship you're using. Like, for example, a lot of people will use like Leslie Moreau on an Enterprise. If it's a really big Q's hostile, to kind of like try to forever stay alive while not creating a lot of damage. Real key is, what's the hostile, right? So, weird part is we have so few people at 60, but people are wondering about level 70 being released. So Draken, there are, again, this is just from what I pulled out last week. I'd have to rerun the numbers. There are 420 level 60s, 430 level 59s, about 258s, about 657s, and then between 52 and 56, probably about 7,000 people. No, about 8,000 people. A lot of those in the mid 50s range would probably start looking at the 70s. Would it roll out? The thing you got to remember is that even if there are only 400 level 60s, and Draco, I'm not calling you out. Y'all, we need level 60s in the game so that we don't have to spend $1 billion. But of those, you're talking about, that's over 400 people who are likely all 6 digits in, right? Just do some quick math, right? If you got 400 people who all spend a minimum of 100,000, I'm not saying they did, we'll just say that that's $40 million, right? So if you could get all those, let's just say just those 400 people to go up a couple levels into the 70s, how much money would that produce, right? So it's just it's a money game. At the end of the day, this game is designed to make money, right? I'm not going to hate it for it. I just want everything to be fair as possible between all of the players. Who and what level is the highest free to play? So the highest free to play that I'm aware of is Dekix. He's level 54. Now, some people have an issue with him being called free to play because he's won 3 battle passes or 4 battle passes because he's an avid follower of content creators. We've interviewed him multiple times on this channel, but there are also other level 50 plus free to play. There's a couple I think that are 52 right now. I'd have to pull up their names, but pure free to plays, that the low 50s is currently the highest. Now they've been playing for 5 years, right? But yeah, and they're also going to be like, hey, they're not going to have tier 9 Vorchas either, right? I think when I talked to Dekix when he was at like level 47, his Coronar was like tier 4 and he couldn't really afford to take it anywhere. Well, when I got my Coronar, I immediately took it to tier 5. So there are going to be some limitations, but yeah, they're up there. They're up there. Good evening, Peter. Good to see you. You remember the no stop button? Same. Free battle pass is free to play in my book. In my opinion, it is Triax because anybody can win a free battle pass and it's from Scopely. You're not spending money, right? It's from Scopely. So anybody who follows a content creator, and there are a lot of us who can do this, you have the ability to win a free battle pass and it's from Scopely. So you just got to be around our content, interact with the communities, and those opportunities become present to you. Now, are they for everybody? No, they're not. Not everybody's going to win those, right? There are people who've been following me for years who've never won a battle pass, and it just is what it is. But it's an opportunity for everybody, right? It's there to try for, at least. You actually see how long we have been playing. I can't look up how long an account has been playing. I know how long some people have been playing based on the server they're on, but I don't have access to people's individual info like that. So, average free-to-play players will be around 44 to 48. Depending on how long they've been in the game, Pegasus. Now, I would also say that there are a couple of players in the 40s on a newer server, like in the 70s, who claim to be free to play in the 40s. And I will say the economy has sped up a lot, but I haven't verified those players. But I really would be curious to see how many people claim to be pure free to play and how many are in that level 50 range. Because obviously when I made that video the other day, I had a lot of people in my chat calling me outright a liar, saying it's impossible to be level 50 plus free to play, even though we've got literal proof of like I even went to Scopely about Dekix in the day to prove, like, are you sure he's 100? And they were like, yes, he's still, he's got $5 treasury, no extra stuff. So here's what it is. JP says it's a true free to play at level 49. See, JP, you're going to have to prove it. People aren't going to believe you. 3 years in, I'm 100% fine with the free battle pass, but I'm not cool with the idea of using a birthday gift card or whatever and getting yourself the second builder. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, Looney, your wife wins all the stuff on my channel, and you're just sitting there like, well, at least I married her. Oh, man. Jay Rice says they're free to play. I was 44. I really would be curious to see who the highest pure free to play is, just in the chat. And if y'all would like to, have that discussion, I think it'd actually make a great interview because there's so many people who believe it's impossible. And the truth is, you really can make progress in the game today as a free-to-play, but you got to be very tactical with your choices. You can't do the tier 7 pylum, tier 9 pylum, right? Those resources have to go somewhere else. But, I mean, you could do the tier 7, tier 9 pylum, but then you would be stuck there for a while, right? So, yeah, I think it's definitely an interview we should have. We should bring that up because there's so many people who lie and think it's a lie. And I'm like, you would be surprised just the level of effort. And to bring up Decix as an example, people wonder how Decix does it. Well, Decix has spreadsheets that he's built that he tracks everything. The daily events that come out, he knows when he's going to participate, when he's going to score. This dude has multiple timers set. I mean, he's dedicated to the game, and not everybody wants to do that, right? And I get that. Not everybody wants to do that. So, just a lot of work and say exactly, JP. And hardcore respect to anybody who does that type of grind. So, all right. Saihu says 60 plus. Saihu, what are you asking? Because I think, when is 60 plus being released? I can't tell you. I can't answer that, Saihu. Why even ask it? You know, I can't sit here and tell you when 60 plus is coming out. Why even ask? You silly goose. You silly goose. Silly Willy. If I wanted to make spreadsheets, I'd go play Eve. I mean, that's fine, Harvey. Look, just get Mike to do it, right? Just get Mike to do it. Just get Mike to do it. He's got a photographic memory. Let me swap this out. I want to use my Vidar. I'm sorry, my Valdor, because she doesn't get any love anymore, man. The Valdor has become second fiddle now that I've got a Coronar. So I'm gonna send the Valdor out to do a little bit of work. Does time equal money? Nobody's free to play. Oh wow, Mihai, you got me. Can you at least say what the ships are going to be? I'm really curious. Nope, I can't. I can't, Draco. And to be honest, I don't know what all the ships are going to be. If I'm just being completely honest with you, I don't know what all of them are. One thing I've neglected a lot is my Stella grind. Hey, Brianna is Rev. Hey. But Brianna's Rev. I'm 15 hours out from scrapping my first and second max Stella. Any advice to make that grind faster / easier? I know there's some research that gives more credits. I mean, there's some research that gives more credits, but honestly, the Stella has always been a very painful grind and has never been something that we enjoy. Short answer, it sucks. But there are a couple things. What Xborg has one. Yeah, your rogue research right here helps. Like if you're just looking for things, rogue research is helpful. I did max my component boost. Now I got to do materials research boost. But it's just a painful grind, and it's always been pretty awful. It's always been pretty awful. So. Game came out. Okay, so the game actually came out in November 2018, not 2019, Bartman. Game came out in November 2018. The 4-star and ISS Jelly came out 2019. 5-star came out the end of 2021. And we're at the end of 2023. So I have higher rep with ROM, so we'll get to the Valdor BP stage first, but I want the Katinga. Should I try and get my Clan rep ahead, or should I continue to get the Valdor? I would say, 1, your name is Valdor, so get the Valdor. But 2, the Valdor is probably the cheaper of the uncommons to get into because you have ISS Jelly Brawl and Parabellum that pay materials directly into it. I would say keep where you're at. I would say keep where you're at. That's just my take. I think you're doing fine. Now, I would also say that you need to be dual grinding because I am, a big proponent of dual grinding. But yeah. Dual grinding is the way to go, in my opinion. Cindy says that they're a free-to-play. Ops 39. Going to 40 next month. I'm extremely strong for my ops. Cindy, I would love to see your account. Hey, and by the way, I say this all the time, but I truly do mean it. Y'all are 100% welcome to hit me up on Facebook or Discord. Talk to me about anything. Ask me the weather. I don't care. I want to have conversations. Now, some days, maybe my mental health is not great, and I give you a short answer. But y'all are always welcome to contact me. Please don't feel like I'm so important that I can't answer messages. I want to hear your messages. I want to hear from you. I want to help you out. So, everybody, you're welcome to hit me up on Facebook. You're welcome to hit me up on Discord. Shoot me a message. I usually devote 2 to 3 hours a day just to talking to people So feel free. Your in-game name is Z Cookie. Well, in your YouTube name, it's Z Valdor. So I think you should do the Valdor. So I think that's what you should do. But maybe I'm just that annoying fly on the wall. Ignore Rev. Ignore Rev. And also, by the way, I want to reiterate this. If you ever ask a question and I don't answer it, just ask it again. Because, you know, like right now, we've got like 500 people between the 3 different platforms I'm streaming on. And it's tough to keep up with all the questions, but I do want to keep up with all the questions. So if I ever just don't answer a question, just ask it again. If you got to ask it 3 or 4 times, I'm sorry. But I am happy to be here and answer whatever I can. I need to boot up another account real quick so I can answer a question I just saw, because I know the answer. I just don't know specifically where. So let me see if I can find it real quick by booting up another account. Dual grinding strategy, simple. Smack the hell out of one species, so Federation, Romulan, Klingon, and you can use missions to help keep them even if you need to, and exocomps are critical. You start getting those exocomps once you've unlocked the amalgam. The exocomps can be absolutely critical to helping maintain your dual grinding. And you can even do little things like adjust which of the dailies you activate, stuff like that. All these are tactics that can help make sure that you keep them even when you're doing your dual grinding. Jesse, good to see you. Let me see. I started the game end of March. Now I'm level 29. Is that good or am I too slow? Honestly, Peter, that's pretty damn quick. Pretty damn quick. I actually worry that your officers might be a little bit under-leveled. So, yeah, I don't think you're going slow at all. I don't think you're going slow at all. What level player is the most populous in the game? Like in terms of just active players? What? I mean, because technically there's the most... I think there's like... Yeah, there's 100,000 level 2 accounts out there. Obviously, those aren't included when we talk about daily actives. But yeah, there's still like 100,000 level 2 accounts. In terms of what's the biggest account or biggest populace amongst active accounts, that's probably gonna be level 39. Let me see. Well, level 39, yeah, I mean, yeah, level 39 is the most populous single level. That isn't like a, you know, level 2. If you don't hold a territory, can you still progress your territory research tree later on? I mean, you're going to need the particles. You have to have territory to get the particles. Your Metreon particle, your Phantom particles. You need territories to get that. So if you don't have territory, you're going to get, you know, slogged down at some point with your territory grind. Yeah. What's the best officer level in Officer 29? Well, I try to tell people that you should at least have unlocked Pike Marode Chin by level 29, and preferably maxing Chin before you're getting into the 30s will really increase your effectiveness as a grinder just for your hostiles. But, yeah, again, that's relative to each player. I'm a 39. I accidentally started my 40 upgrade. Hey, remember, you don't turn 40 until you actually hit the button. So maybe just hold off on the button. Just hold off on the button. You get particles from the amalgam? Yeah, a little. So for an old server, even an OG one on server 17, what can be defined as being a healthy server? In my terms or Scopely's terms? Because that's 2 different things. In my terms or Scopely's terms? Also, I'm going to lower my desk real quick and sit down. I've been standing because I'm trying to, you know, not be a lazy bum more. So give me just a second as I lower the desk. Ah, the marvels of modern technology. It's amazing, isn't it? Look at the things that we can do. We can put a man on the moon, and we can make a desk that goes up and down. Doesn't get better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't get better than that. Yeah, lower workstation station alpha, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I got the desk, though, because, you know, I spend so much time working with y'all here at the PC. Well, I don't need to be having that being 10 hours of sitting on my butt, right? So for me, an active server is based purely on population. And a healthy server is based purely on population. We're not talking about politics or anything, just pure population. You need a minimum of about 500 to 700 daily players to be a healthy server, preferably double that. Scopely also includes spending habits for a healthy server. Like if you've got 500 people, but nobody's spending any money really anymore, they consider that an unhealthy server. Right? So it depends on player populace, and also do you have people who are, you know, buying battle passes, buying the content that comes out, etc. You want a standing desk so bad? Drew, get one, man. I recommend it. You know, I was kind of dubious. Is it really that good at first? And honestly, it is. I mean, I can definitely, it's going to sound really dumb or really old, but I can definitely feel more blood flow to my legs now that I'm standing more. So, Zog, they are debating, or Zlog, they're debating adding things to the event store, but nothing is guaranteed. But they are having discussions about some items. Some items we've already been told no on. So you love your standing desk? You should, Jesse. You should. The Franklin, better to scrap at 41 or 45? 41, doesn't matter. The Franklin is one of the very few ships that you don't have to max level it to get the rewards. The whole point of scrapping the Franklin is to get the Franklin A, and you can get all your blueprints by scrapping it at level 41. So, if you'd only unlock one, which would be better, Doctor or Chakotay? Doctor. If I could pick one, Yogg, I would unlock the Doctor over Chakotay. Doesn't mean I think Chakotay's bad. I just think, and again, we're talking about my playstyle, the Doctor is extremely valuable. Like, we're talking about the Voyager loop, we're talking about Armada credits. The Doctor is one of the most important characters in the game. So, if, say, a particular alliance is missing one particle to have 2 4-star, or I guess you meant 3-star territories, you think that'll hurt in the long run? I think an alliance, especially, Drew, if we're talking about Server 97, an alliance's focus should be, there's 2 ways to look at territories. I actually had this conversation for Server 98 in an interview I did with an alliance over there. I did a town hall meeting with a server. Thank you for the follow over there on Kick. Greatly appreciate you, Jason. Good to see you. 2 4. We mean 2 4-star territories. There are no 4-star territories, Drew. There are only 3-star territories. 3-star territories is the highest it is. There is no 4-star territory. But there are 2 strategies for territories. You can either focus on services or you can focus on loot. I believe alliances are best set to focus on loot until you get to a really high part of the game. So yeah, there are 4-star nodes, Drew, but like there's 4-star crystal, 4-star gas, 4-star ore, but there's not a 4-star service. See the stars? Especially if we're talking about Server 97, an alliance should be focused on getting its members as many particles as possible. Here's why. If you're focusing on services, mostly whose services are benefiting are the high level players. So like if an alliance decides to focus on services, what they're actually focusing on are things like cost reduction or maybe even PvP. But those aren't going to affect most players. But what players, if you want to, especially as a mid-level or newer server, you really want to be focusing on getting all of your players all the research they can get and all the materials they can get. So when we talk about, you know, your territory here, it's possible to have all of these particles that you can redeem every day. Now, Server 20 IA is the second most powerful alliance in the entire game, right? They don't really need this anymore, so they don't worry about it. But the problem is if you're a new server and you focus on doing like what IA does, you're going to have your high levels be super strong, but everybody else is going to slag behind. And if you get into a war, here's what I would do if I get into a war with you and I know that your alliance for 6 months has not been feeding your lower levels territory research and stuff. I am going to ignore going to war with your level 40s and 50s. I'm going to just bludgeon to death all of your lower and mid-level players until they quit. And then you're left with an alliance of 15, 20 players who are just high levels. So territory really can make that level of difference to an alliance when it comes to giving them more ability to mine ore, gas, crystal, and to get the 4 different particle types to get in what are still pretty good research buffs. Now, there has been some dilution into the overall effectiveness and efficiency of some of the territory buffs, but they're still some of the most valuable in the game. And if I know that your people can't do this, I'm just going to go bludgeon them to death until they quit your alliance, because you've not allowed them to be as strong as possible. You've not allowed them to grow with everybody else who is focusing on that. So I think alliances, unless you are at a high level point in the game, should focus on getting as many particles and at the same time, as many of those secondary resources like 4-star nodes as they can. And if you've got one node type, like all you got is Phantom, well, I know I'm going to be able to target you. And I know that your alliance is going to be struggling to progress through that research tree. Now, there is a point where I think you can be like, well, hey, let's focus on getting the service to make building costs cheaper and focus on the service to make these things cheaper. I think you do reach a point of that as an alliance. But overall, yeah, I would definitely, as a leadership, I would focus on how am I making my entire team get better, faster. And, you know, Aaron brings up the efficiency researches are big, and they are, because if you're a high level, there are several efficiency researches you can just buy. But if you're free to play, you got to focus on grinding those out. And there's a lot of them in the territory tree. So, Morph says, I just hit 19. Unsure if I should be prioritizing officers or ships in the event store. Mostly free to play. Any suggestions? 100% officers. Now, Morph, at level 20, you would probably see the discovery. But at your level, I would be focusing on Belana Torres and Tom Paris. I'm assuming those are two of the rares that you see. I would need to pull up my low-level account and take a look. I don't have my account on server 97 pulled up at the moment, but you should be focusing on the rare officers. So, why does the event store folder for ship parts have charged nanos on the cover but none in the folder? I don't have the answer to that, Mark. It's a good question, but I don't have the answer to that. Simple one would be that the people who do the art are not the same people who put stuff in the store. Where's it at? Yeah, right there, right in front of my face. The people who make the art for these are not the same people who put stuff in the store. But I don't have an answer why they're not in there. Again, can be asked. Can be asked. Anything on the Zoom issue? Nope. And James, I'll be honest, my answer is probably going to be the same every time you ask it, no matter what it is. Not that I think your question's bad, just that, you know, Scopely. Scopely. Best way to farm Voyager? To farm like Voyager's currencies or to farm Voyager blueprints? There's only one way to farm Voyager blueprints, and that is through the Voyager refinery and turning that in every day. That's the only way. There is no other way. All right. What is the order of importance for unlocking Voyager officers? I'm going to make a video about this, Slugger. I mean, it's going to vary by opinion. I think the rares are most important, and then getting at least the tier 1 unlock of like Doctor. But I'm going to make a video probably tomorrow where I'll go over the event store. It's due this week, and it was either going to be like yesterday or, you know, at the end of the week, but I'll probably put it out tomorrow, discuss why things are valuable. I wish there were other things that were getting added, but since I've already been told no on some of the things that I wanted to get added, I can go ahead and make the video. So, hey, what's up? No way. How you doing? And I've got nothing that I can really comment on your question. I'm sorry. I don't really know. Please ask if the Talios warp took me out of the event store. I have a second one now, but I cannot use it past tier 1. We can ask, Bryant. I feel like that's a very low priority ask, but I mean, things can get asked. I will go ahead and just be honest. So I've already, myself, other content creators have already submitted things to get looked at. I think at this point, anything that got requested is a little bit too late to be part of the conversation, but I can definitely see if somebody else has mentioned it and just look at it, right? Where do I find the Voyager BP hostiles? There is no place that you can get Voyager BPs to drop, Chris. There is no place. The only place to get Voyager blueprints is in the Voyager refinery by turning in the Hirogen relics. There is no hostile that drops the blueprints. I found the best way to get Hirogen relics when trying to get Voyager unlocked was Jayla and 5 in the Franklin with Doctor below decks. And the level 30 system was able to get 500 relics in 10 minutes. That makes sense. I mean, the honest best answer is if you can beat the regular Hirogens, if you can beat the elites. This is where you'd want to go because these have better payouts. But if you can't beat those, then just farming regular Hirogens in these systems is the answer to get those relics. Hey, K92, good to see you, man. You and Draco are here. A couple of our top level 60s in the game. Look at y'all. Look at y'all coming in here and hanging out with us regular people. You know, we appreciate y'all. One, thank you for keeping the game going. That's really appreciated. And 2, just thank you for being awesome. Appreciate you both. Appreciate you both. Where are the elites again? The elites start in Velixis. What's the name of that system? Right here. Yeah, Velixis. That's where the elites start. That's where the elites start. So. Can you grind 5-star minor BPs? Nowhere relatively close to you, Slug. 5-star minor BPs are basically another one of those that you get them after you've got them. Actually, 5-star, does that one drop anyway? I'm trying to think if the Magua or whatever you say, that Klingon ship, does it actually drop? I actually would have to go and check, Slug. Because the Nova you can grind. I don't actually know if you can grind the faction miners. The faction miners might not be grindable. The Nova is. Yeah, you might not be able to even do the grinding for faction miners. But you can get Novas. Novas can technically drop as low as a 53 freebooter. But the faction miners might not actually drop at all. So, what's the trick that allows some players to rack up massive high scores in Q's trial event? Oh, simple, Rob. You spam the hostile and don't beat it. You try to go 100 rounds, constantly dealing damage to the hostile, but never beat it. And because the hostile never loses health, like once it loses, or once the fight's over, it gets everything back. You just keep spamming it for 15 minutes with losses. Keep spamming it with losses for 15 minutes. That's the trick. Yeah, Slugger, you can grind Novas. You can actually grind Novas in multiple places, but like one of the earliest places is level 53 plus freebooters have a shot of dropping Nova BPs. I'm not saying it's a high chance. I'm not saying you're going to load up with them, but yeah, they drop Nova BPs. Let's see what other chats we got. Where's the Voyage to Velixis mission? Oh, damn, man. I'd have to, because that's months ago now. I have to look it up. I have to look that up. It's on STFC.space. Honestly, it'd be easier if you just asked in my Discord. Somebody would have it right there, I'm sure. Rev fired up today. Some passion in your voice? Not really. But thanks. Thanks. I'm just me, man. I'm just me. This is just me. Looking at the superhighway. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. And the superhighway is research, by the way. Superhighway is a research. So just go to your starships tree. Right here. Scroll over all the way over to the Voyager and Delta Quadrant analysis. Josh, you get the Meridian through event stores like the one we have going on right now. It's 150,000 event store currency. You don't have Meridian, you get it through the event store currently going on right now. Besides Romulus, where can you grind Pylon BPs? Anywhere that there is a level 49 or higher Romulan hostile. So if we go out on our map real quick, that means that we're talking about starting around here. Kina, level 49 hostiles are there. So it's going to be warp range, shoot, 160. Out here to Jorda. Out here in Erlen. All these areas. You need level 49 or higher. Thank you, Falcon, for dropping the links. I appreciate it. By the way, if y'all do want to support the channel, obviously, for those that don't know, I can't do what I do without support from y'all. If you'd like to drop a tip, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App are available. And if you want to just support us monthly, we're trying to get 50 people to support us monthly on my merch store. You can do that as little as $5 a month. Allows me to make content, focus on working with y'all and griping at the devs. So if you would like to help out, it is greatly appreciated, and it has certain perks. That's at revdeuce.com. None of this is required, but it does help me feed my 3 very greedy children. Damn kids. Damn kids. What's the current max possible mess hall level? Still not max, as in like level 99. Somewhere around 90, I think. So I think it's somewhere around, let me see, look at the score here. I think it's somewhere around here. But I would actually have to go and math out, because when it launched, it was like 86. was the max. And I think we're around 89, 90 now based on the new officers that have been released, but I would have to go add it all up again. No, Drew, Kick and Twitch are separate. So if you have a subscription on Kick, somebody gifted you one. Somebody gifted you one. Or you purchased it and forgot it. By the way, I do appreciate anybody who hits the subscribe button on Kick as well. That helps out the channel too. So thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, because Kick gives a hell of a lot better cut than Twitch does. That's for sure. For the solo armadas, what's best to use, Defiant, Buff, or Titan? Why not both? Why not both? But Defiant's probably going to do you better. But it's really going to depend on how much research have you invested. How much research have you invested into either of them? Because I have not given a ton of research into my Titan, right? That's probably one that I've given the least amount of research to. So that's just going to depend on where you're at with your research and everything. We start a channel on Starfield? Like, will I start a new YouTube channel on Starfield? No, I'm not starting a new YouTube channel just because it is so hard to start a new YouTube channel and get monetized. Will I play Starfield? Yes. And will I potentially make Starfield videos? Potentially. We'll see. Now, there might be a Starfield channel on my Discord where we talk about it. Like I have one for Diablo. I've got one for our Lego builds and stuff. Like still trying to get this company to respond to my daggum emails. This is the people who make Star Trek Legos. I'm still trying to get them to respond to me. But we have channels for all kinds of things in my Discord. Is there a ship you can build and scrap for UC survey parts? Negative, Falcon. Hey, what's up, Ripper? How you doing? I am a noob, and I'm proud to be a noob. Hey, Ripper, can you yell in German at this company that won't respond to me for about a month and a half? Like, they respond to me, but they're the worst customer support of any company I've ever worked with. And I realize I'm saying that as someone who works for Star Trek Fleet Command daily. Ripper, please go scream in German at these people. Like, seriously, I literally just want to work with them. I've got access to one of the largest Star Trek communities in the world. And that's not an exaggeration because YouTube does not have a lot of Star Trek communities. Why are they so damn lazy? I'm not even kidding. Like, I've been talking for a month and a half. And like their most recent communique was they asked what my damn channel was, which was the first thing I gave them. Like, good Lord. Also, Hank, thank you so much for supporting me and my children. Hank donated $10. I'm going to update the chart right above. Thank you, Hank. That helps out tremendously, and I really appreciate people like you. Thank you so much for that. Sincerely, thank you for that. I'm going to put it in right now so I don't forget about it. Yeah, Ripper, please scream in German at these very lazy bums who won't respond to me trying to help them. Because I sure as heck ain't going to make a lot of money for it. I'm helping them out. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what. What do I not know? Did you get a haircut? Did you get a haircut? Oh my goodness! What is this? And why am I just now seeing it? It's amazing. But why am I just now seeing it? How was I not one of the first people that got this? Is German customer support? Apparently, man. Like, literally, Ripper, this looks awesome. All I honest to God want is to set up a basic affiliate link with this company and promote them because they're Star Trek. I love supporting Star Trek. I personally believe that the more we support Star Trek in all of its forms, the more Star Trek we'll have. And it's really important for me now because I am a father and I want my kids to grow up with Star Trek. So I want to support Star Trek. I literally don't even care if I make $100 with this company. I literally just want to partner with them. Just respond to my daggum stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, rant over. Ripper, this looks amazing. I love this. I love this. I really do. Sorry for the mini rant, everybody. It's crazy. If you want me to yell at them, I do. I sincerely do. I'm going to send you After stream, I'm gonna send you a couple of screenshots of me trying to talk to them. I'm gonna do it right now. Like, holy shnikes, Batman. And then I'm gonna show you the first one I sent. Was July 12th. It is August 16th. So I just sent them to you out of order, but you know, you get the point. You get the point. Do they have a phone number? I mean, who doesn't have a phone number in 2023? Sure, I'll give you their damn website. Call them on my behalf. Thank you, sir. You scream at them violently in German, or as other people would say, literally just use German. You'll scream naturally. Ugh. Do you know anything about Silverblood USS Voyager? Nope. Not at all. Is there a hidden Voyager avatar? Nope. Sure isn't. Nope. No idea what you're talking about. Oh, man. Our drop rates for 4-star rare VPs better in capital systems with the 49 plus ones. Exactly the same, Hypo. Exactly the same. How do event days like today not make you want to quit the game? Dude, this doesn't I love this, Jack. What do you mean? This is a great day. This is one of the best days of the month. I love today. What do you mean? This is hands down one of my favorite days of this month so far. This is like the type of day people ask for. How can you be frustrated? I mean, I guess that there's different strokes for different folks. People are going to have different opinions about things. I guess I got to understand that. But today's like one of the best days of the month. It's like, yes, finally, options, events, currency. Yay. I'm happy. I'm happy about today. So, we're different events, all pay to participate. There's nothing pay to participate. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I've got a level 12 account that can do today's events. You got a mining SMS, easy peasy. The upgrade FT event, completely free to play, easy peasy. The only SMS that isn't easy to do free to play is the unlock event. You've got the FC Janeway SMS, free to play, easy peasy. We got like we got like 5 SMSs right now that pay out event store currency. Easy peasy day. I love today. I want more days like today. I want more days like today. This is what I need, more days like today. All my FT updates come from the same place they always come from, Jack. I do my Q's trials. I farm my proto matter right there. I farm my proto matter. And then I do basic upgrades to finish. And I got 3 days to do it. Sethan, a kick sub would definitely do the most. And thank you for asking. A kick sub definitely would. Jack, which FTs are you trying to upgrade? Because you should have it, depending on what level you are, you should have several. Like, yeah, this one is expensive. This is the rare one. What about your uncommons? These are cheap to upgrade. And that's with me having already done my upgrades today. The epic, super expensive, obviously. You got 3 days to farm your proto matter after they've just given, depending on how you were in the leaderboard, plus, not even the leader, I'm sorry, the AMS that's out right now is paying out a ton of bells. Your battle pass just paid out a ton of bells. So your mission key hunter pays out bells. And then your AMS pays out, what, 200 bells. Then your battle pass just gave you 200 bells. And you get 80 bells a day if you knock it on down. This past week, you can be farming the absolute heck out of proto matter. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you, Pseudo, for subscribing for 2 months. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And yes, Arcasa, that is who I was talking about. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Do you have any sense of when an upgrade fails, you're stuck with my Q's trials? I mean, I hate the I got a failure today on an 85%er, but that's just Scopely's math not being honest. Not being honest. Nice, Tough Cow. Cool. Is you the Silver Server info they're speaking about? What do you mean, Lost Soul? I obviously know it. Do you not see it on my damn screen? Did you miss that part, Lost Soul? It's right there. Obviously, I know how to get it. What do you mean? It's right there. Lost. That was the joke. Obviously, I know. It's right there. Lost. It's right there. Yeah, I've thought about putting that in like a special video or at the end or something so people can find the Easter egg. But I also had a lot of people say don't tell everybody because they want it to be special. So I'm kind of torn on whether I tell everybody how to do it or not. I did tell everybody how to do it on Twitch. So at some point I'll reveal the Easter egg. I don't know. Are the Elite Heroian only battleships? Yes. Yes, James. Yes. Could have been referring to something that Scopely told you not to say anything about. Now I don't even know what you're talking about, Kinky Jesus. You're the only one your server seems to have it. And see, that's actually why I'm considering not telling everybody, because it makes it really special that you figured it out or you're part of a small exclusive club that has the special Easter egg avatar, right? And I don't know what the right answer is there, because I'm going to make people mad if I tell everybody, and then I'm going to make people mad if I don't tell everybody. So I don't even know what to do. But yeah, there's the silver. There's a special. I'll put it this way: there's a special avatar you can get in game that if you follow a specific set of fun steps, you have an opportunity to get this cool little avatar. This little Easter egg they threw in. In your opinion, what ship out of the Vidar, Talios, and Defiant is good to max first? Both. I mean, technically, I went Defiant first. Defiant's going to be better for general Armada usage and stinging. Talios is the better PvP ship. So, just depends on what your playstyle is, Sea-Dog. You're still in the 1-star Q trials. I can't farm the proto matter. You have to defeat them. You do have to beat them for... Oh, what level are you? What level are you? Because the 1-stars can be completed by low 30s players. So I guess it depends on what level you're at. What level you're at. Sorry, responding to Ripper. And I'm not fluent enough for an email in. All right, hope your Wednesday is going well. Just a question for you. I've not received any missions so I can get my Talios, and support hasn't come back to me in 2 weeks. This stink, that sucks. Support has been struggle-la-bussin' lately. And we do need to see if we can make sure. I'm assuming you have a max Vidar and you're level 35. You should have the Talios missions available in your holodeck. Sorry, I'm talking to Ripper. All right, Ripper's being awesome. Okay. Somebody just messaged me about Q's trials. They're actually, who is this? I can't see because I'm streaming, but they're actually talking about this Ragnarok in my Discord. If you want to hop in my Discord, they're literally talking about crews in there. If you want to jump in about those Q's trials crews for cheesing the leaderboard. Are there, yeah, James, the Elite Heroians are battleships. I think it's the third time I've responded. Maybe you didn't hear me. Maybe you're remembering. The Elite Heroians are battleships. Yes. They are battleships. And then the one that you summon is a interceptor. That's the Jemadar. I think I got some laying around back here. It's like the Species A472 bioship. This one is an interceptor. And then let me see if I've got... and then here's your Heroian Elite. These are battleships. And then there is technically a freighter as well. You released a video letting people know they really need to invest in isolic damage. I did. I made a video about isolic damage. Yeah, I mean, isolic damage is obviously a pathway of the future. Like, that's something that people need to use. I mean, hell, we were actually just talking about earlier before you got here about level 60s using isolytic damage to finish their 4-star Q's trials. Isolytic damage is definitely important. And now I wouldn't necessarily say go invest money into it, but you know, it is something that you should be paying attention to because it is something that is important in the game now, and obviously something they're investing a lot of thought into because we have a lot of artifacts coming out for it and officers coming out for it, etc. So, level 35 on the EU server, a 179 last week in the spin SLB. Is it worth pushing to win a second one to tier her? Whew, good question. Honestly, if you have the materials, I would say yes. If you have the materials, I would say yes. So, any insight on a territory refresh? None at all, my friend. We've been waiting for that for a while. I think most of us would like that. Swarm hostile so far is the best Q trial cheese I've found. Maybe the action would be better. The specialty hostiles are definitely the easiest to cheese. This is true. And I don't think that one's not a specialty. Let's see, is this one a specialty? Not a specialty. Not a specialty. I would actually have to try to get a specialty to spawn because I've just got regular Q's trial hostiles here. But yeah, the specialty hostiles are definitely the easiest to cheese for the leaderboard scoring, for sure. For sure. Let's see. Org tech. Resources. All right, I've got to wait till tonight's Twitch stream to do these. Which, by the way, we will be streaming on Twitch tonight in roughly 5.5 hours. So, if you haven't joined us on Twitch before, you're more than welcome to come and do. Find that big gun. That actually was one, Draco. This one has the big gun in it. That one has the big gun. He just won in under 8 rounds. But that one had the big gun in it. That was one of the big ones. And he took it on down. He took it on down. I got to recall this so I don't get hit OPC. Best crew to cheese a swarm hostile. It's more about the ship you're using, honestly. You just want it to go as many rounds as possible. It depends on the power of the swarm hostile, right? That's the thing. There is no generic answer I can give y'all what's the best crew and best ship because it depends on what you're fighting. It depends on what you're fighting and what you have. That's why I'm encouraging everybody to actually go to the Discord and join the conversation because it is going to matter. It is going to matter where you're actually at, right? The goal is to go 100 rounds, and it might take a little bit of experimenting with crews for you. But that's why we're having this conversation in Discord. Yeah, Draco, he's not as far ahead of us as you are. I know. Spend Latinum to get Chin. I do advise people to spend Latinum to get Chin. Absolutely. I do encourage people to spend Latinum to get Chin. Getting Chin Max is one of the most important early officer moves in the game, in my opinion, because Chin is your primary hostile grinding crew, even in today's new hostiles, well into the 30s and 40s. There are some specific hostiles that maybe are more important to do other things with, but generally speaking, it is still at the very tippy top of the importance list, so I encourage people to go after that. We can collect that. And yay, crappy active nanopros, but whatever. I'll take it. If it's free, it's for me. What about Enterprise with Kirk on acting hostile for Q? Yeah, I mean, Chris, makes sense. I would probably do, like, if I'm on an Enterprise, Leslie Moreau Kirk, and see if I can. Now, you got to remember, you can't win. You're supposed to be losing for 15-ish minutes. But that would be a crew I use on Enterprise. Kirk, Leslie Moreau, with Leslie as captain, obviously. I'm not making a bunch of damage, but I'm trying to survive as long as possible. Just the key is you can't win. If you win, well, you're not really cheesing anything. So, on the Doctor, does the increased resources drop ability work on, say, Herodian relics, nanoprobes, etc.? Yes, Kal-El. Yes. In the STFC general channel, but honestly, it doesn't matter. We read all of them. This is true. Pseudo is one of our volunteers and helpers. Pseudos is one of our math nuts. And Pseudo is one of those people who, like me, doesn't have a life, and it revolves around the Star Trek Fleet Command community. Thank you for existing, Pseudo. Thank you for existing. Did I answer your Titan question? I did answer a question about a Titan like 45 minutes ago. Best tip for cheesing specialty hostiles is go find the matching hostile out in the wild and do some experimentation. See, that's not a bad idea, but what if it's an Actian hostile? You can't exactly go do that. What if it's the Borg hostile? You can't go do that either. You can only really do that if you're testing against the swarms. So not bad advice if you have a swarm hostile, but some specialties take tokens, so it's hard to really experiment against them. Dakota says, do you only need to get in the top 25 in the item emporium of it once to get the additional run at the end of the month? Correct. You don't have to be top 25 every time. You don't have to be top 25 every time. That's per lay overlords. Per lay overlords. Car War, Honor Guard War for a good anti-strike team crew depends on what you're facing. It can be, yes. Can be. Tight non-con when choosing it looks like the Voyager to me. Doesn't to me. You actually brought that up the last stream. That doesn't look like that to me at all. If you specifically have that as a problem, put it in a ticket, but I don't have that as a problem. My Titan doesn't look like the Voyager at all on its little button or anything. Is it possible to get 50-60 doctor charge via the event? It is. It might be all that you get, but it is definitely possible. Best crew for freebooters, Strange New World full synergy or Janeway full synergy. Either one of those will do just fine. Any chance to get to know what's inside the loyalty chest over 50? Yeah? What do you mean? We've shared that information already. We've actually shared that in a video already. That's not something we're like hiding. How can I tell if I was in the top 25 for eligibility if I forget? Well, maybe you shouldn't forget. Don't forget. Here, let me see. I can pull up a loyalty chest. Let me give you, here's a loyalty chest that's level 50 plus. Give me just a second. I'll put it on the screen for you. Give me a second. I gotta put it on the screen. Boop. All right, so this is a level 50 30-day chest. There you go. What do you think of 7-9? I like her. Will I get her? I don't know, but do I like her? Yes. Yes. Is the pylon cloak worth getting? Only if you do a lot of PvPing. Only if you do a lot of PvPing. Like, in my alliance, it's actually one of our requirements. If you're going to run certain armadas, especially during event times, you have to bring a ship that has a cloak. The requirement. So let's see. Any other questions I'm missing? Is Neelix supposed to be unlocked this month? So MB, encourage you to watch my video on Neelix that I actually just put out yesterday. The way to unlock Neelix this month is events plus the $20 battle pass. There is not a pure free-to-play unlock path. There's not a pure free-to-play unlock path. So $20 is your minimum buy-in to make sure that you get Neelix this month. Hey, Regbach. Greetings. Good to see you. Good to see you. Will Neelix work with Pike / Picard? Honestly, haven't tested it, but I'm going to go ahead and say no, because that's not how it should work. But maybe? I mean, we could test it, but I don't say no. Is this game worth it for free to play? 100% yes. 100% yes. What tier repairs become comparable in mitigation to 5? He's immediately comparable to mitigation to 5 in mitigation if you're talking about just one-on-one. If you're talking about with synergy, what, tier 4? How many synergy slots? 1, 2? And exactly what Robasi says, Picard Pike will affect combat abilities. But there are every now and then you can't say without actually testing it. And I've not tested it, but I feel pretty strongly that they won't work with Neelix. For the above list of reasons. Is Janeway Commander any good? I wouldn't spend money on it. I would not go out and buy a Janeway. Also, warning to those who are considering buying Janeway, she has far higher cost to upgrade, like in rare cost and everything, than like Spock or Kirk. Just a warning, if you do want to buy that, be warned. High cost. High cost. Hypochondriac, we literally just answered that question. I do think that 709 is a good officer to go after. I do, yeah. I'm going to have a video out tomorrow talking about the event store for those asking about Tom Paris and such. But we ever figure out what the bug fix? There was no bug fix to Pon's captain's ability. It was just a description fix. And yeah, we talked about it on StreamGrad. FC Janeway is a ripoff. You said it, not me, Wolfwood. You said it, not me. You're on an Android, can't seem to find a way to subscribe to your Kick channel. Dominus, one, I appreciate you wanting to do that. Two, not real sure, but how about this, Dominus? If you want to subscribe to me and support me, the best way to honestly do it is through the merch store. If you want to do a monthly subscription, just because all these places, YouTube, Twitch, etc., they take a huge cut. If you do want to do that, it's not required, but hella appreciated, Dominus. You can use that if you want to. That's my website has a feature to do that if you want to do it. I do appreciate you at least asking. Do we know when the treasuries come this month? No, they have not posted a date for us in our dev chat. No, but it does come every month, usually about the third week. Well, Grads, we've actually answered that question like for 2 months in most streams. And I know you're here all the damn time. All right, so we've done it for like 4 streams because it launched this month. But yeah, it was just changing the way the captain's ability is worded. And thank you, Damon, for the follow. Great to see you. Great to see you. How you doing, Dr. Juby? Just mail Rev a can of jelly. Let's not do that. Rev has badass hats. Thank you, Draco. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, Fleet Mateo, good to see you. We're actually right at wrap-up time. I hate to just kind of cut short because I know we got a lot of questions. Always try to answer as many questions as possible. But I got to, prepare tomorrow's video about the event store because y'all are wanting to know what to buy. Makes complete sense. Very logical that y'all want to see that video. And I also need to get ready for tonight's stream. And I've got a lot of questions to answer because I do try to answer everybody. It's really important to me to answer everybody in the game. So appreciate every single one of y'all. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you in the Discord. Catch you on my Facebook. And catch you later tonight on Twitch. We'll be doing a little bit more live streaming. Y'all are amazing. Don't forget it. Don't let Scopely make you feel any other type of way. You're all wonderful. We'll see you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.